Hello students. So today we will be discussing in our chapter 3, we will be talking about style and the formal letters. We have discussed personal letters, so formal letters is the next step towards it. So we continue with style. Style is basically we will how discuss what is the way of writing, how you imagine words, how you can make a picture inside your head of a certain situation and then write about it. For example, in writing a passage, there is a style that you follow. All these things are to be considered into making a passage or a composition. Style is very important. How you use your imagination, your ideas, your expression, and all these things, that is where style comes into play. So we have to make sure that whenever we use certain passage to write or certain composition to write, we follow a certain style pattern into it. So that is what is we will be learning today about style. Style is the established manner of writing which a writer develops over the years. As a student, you should strive to achieve an effective style of writing which has clarity, coherence, and simplicity. Effective writing is a deliberate and controlled activity. So what does it say about style? Style is basically something that you develop with time. For example, a writer develops a certain style of writing with time. For example, you would have heard of a great author called Agatha Christie. Agatha Christie's style of writing was basically suspense novels. He used to write mystery and suspense novel. That's what his style was. Similarly, we can talk about certain people who would develop a style of writing. There is another fiction writer called Sidney Sheldon. His style of writing was thrillers. He would write thrillers, and that's how he would develop himself. So this is what is basically style. We develop it over the years. Qualities of good style. What are the good qualities of style are? A good style can be defined. It should be accurate. Accurate in the sense the ideas are expressed correctly. The use of exact words should be there. There should be clarity. There should be persuasiveness. There should be vividness. Then there should be expressiveness. Clarity means it should be clear what is being described. It should be very clear to you. Persuasiveness is basically a reader, when he reads your book should be written in such a style that the reader gets engrossed in it. He gets very much attracted to the read. He is persuaded by his persuasion is the act of making somebody agree. So basically the reader agrees with your ideas. Vividness is basically creating a pattern in the mind which is like vividness. It should be clear like a picture. That's what a vividness should be like. One can imagine it. Once you read it, you can imagine if you imagine the visualization, if you can visualize the story, that makes it vivid. Expressiveness is basically the force with which the author's state of mind is communicated. What are the elements of good style? Using the right word. You should always use the correct word in the sense which is very much closer to the sentence that you are going to write next. It should be very much right word. Using the suitable sentence structure. Suitable sentence structure means your sentence should be made in such a manner that it forms a pattern. It should be in a pattern. You should be able to understand it. Using imagery to represent an idea, an action, or a state. Imagery means the language that produces pictures in the minds of the readers. I told you about this in vividness. You should use imagery. Imagery is basically, if the reader is reading your book, he should be able to create a picture in his mind. That is what is imagery. Now, about using idiomatic expression. Idiomatic expressions are expressions peculiar to a language. These must be used judicially. Idiomatic expression is something that makes it like a proverbial sentence. For example, if you ordinary expression is if you want to disregard somebody, your idiomatic expression would be to turn a deaf ear to. That means to disregard someone. If you have ordinary expression like cheerful, you should write in high spirits. So that makes it more idiomatic and more attractive to read. To have a meaning not apparent on the surface, which is to have a meaning not apparent on the surface means basically something that is hidden between the lines. So to read between the lines is the idiomatic expression. So this is what is basically style. Let's come to formal letters now. Formal letters will complete our chapter today. Formal letters are official letters dealing with subjects such as inquiry, ordering, transfer of money, reference, request, booking, complaint and apology. Business letters are formal in nature. Nothing in such letters should be sound too personal or too intimate. What matters is setting your letter out correctly, keeping the point and maintaining the necessary formal tones. Formal letters are written for various purposes. Generally, it is for business purposes. So you cannot write a formal letter like a personal letter. Personal letter is too intimate, which means it is very close to, you can express your feelings very effectively and freely. But in formal letters, you have to follow certain guidelines and you have to write according to that only. Layout of a formal letter. What is the layout of the formal letter? The writer's address and the date is written in the same way as in personal letter. The writer's address and date would be written but in same way in the personal letters. The address of the person company addressed to is written. Similarly, the address of the person to whom we are sending the letter, that is written. The greeting is quite different from that of a personal letter. It is always dear sir if you are writing to an official who is man. If you know that official is a lady, you should greet her as dear madam. If you are writing to a business firm and not to any particular official, the greetings is dear sirs. The greeting example dear sir is followed by a comma. So similarly, in formal letter you will use dear sir and madam as dear sir and dear madam as your opening of the letter. So the greeting should be very available and it should be precise. The subject with which the letter deals is indicated by a business heading that is written in the middle of the writing space between the salutation and the first paragraph. It is underlined. The heading makes the filing for the letter easier. So the subject matter in which the letter is written, there should be a salutation and business heading should be there. An immediate reference is made in the opening sentence of your letter to previous communication. You have to make sure whenever you write a formal letter, there should be a immediate sentence which would be attached to the previous letter that you had communicated with. So make sure that for example, when you write a letter, you will be writing like with reference to the letter we had discussed earlier or with reference to the letter sent by you. So like this, you will be giving a opening sentence. The body of the letter may begin at the normal distance from the margin that a new paragraph begins. Divide the body of letter in your paragraphs. Make sure that in a formal letter it is possible for you to divide the body of the letter into paragraphs. Possibly 2 paragraphs is enough. The concluding sentence normally refers to the main topic of the letter. Concluding sentence, when you conclude the letter, remember that the subject is mentioned once again. Remember, whatever the subject of the letter is, you have to make sure that it is mentioned again, in the sense subject is laid stress upon. The most common form of subscription is yours faithfully. Most common form would be yours faithfully as subscription. Use your full signature in business letters, that is initials on the first name plus the surname. Below your full signature, write clearly within brackets your full name. So similarly, you have to write the formal letter. Remember these points. There are certain points that you should remember while writing a formal letter. Formal letter should be brief and to the point. Formal letters should not be exaggerated or not should be very long. They should be brief and to the point. There should be making sure that the gist of the subject you are discussing in detail and not other matters. Let your letter be clear. It should be clear in the sense it should express freely and it should be able to communicate better. Maintain the necessary formal tone. Always remember, in a formal letter, you have to be precise. It should be written like a business letter. Be polite in your expression. In your expression, make sure although you are formal, you are polite. You are not appearing as rude to the receiver of the letter. So make sure that you are polite in your expression. So let's discuss the box type and traditional type formal letter. In the box type letter, first on top, in box type everything is to the left side. So if you remember that everything is to the left side. From the left side top, you write your address on top. Then you leave space and then below that you write date. Then there should be reference. If there is any reference, you write that. Then there should be receiver's address. Receiver's address is the address that you are sending to. Then you will be writing the salutation, that would be dear sir or dear madam. Then there would be subject. Below salutation, make sure that you write the subject in formal letters. Always there is a subject in formal letters. For example, here it is written rising food prices. Then there is body of the letter. You will write about the letter only. For example, if the subject is rising food prices, you will be writing in order to the editor of Hindustan Times that dear sir, the food prices have been rising due to inflation and there are certain scenarios in which even the vegetables and groceries are costing us very much. Please make sure to raise our voice to the government to make the prices low. So similarly, this should be a body of the letter. Then below, after the body is completed, you will be giving a space. Then there would be subscription. Subscription would be yours faithfully in most of the time. Then there would be space and there would be your signature or full name. Now this is box type we have discussed. In traditional type, your address should be to the top right corner. Then there would be date after a space again in the right corner. Then if there is a reference, you will give the reference. Then there would be receiver's address. Receiver's address, the person who is receiving the letter, his address. Reference and receiver's address would be to the left side. Reference would be to the left side. Receiver's address would be to the left side. And after that, the salutation would be dear sir, dear madam, dear sirs, dear madam. Then the subject. Subject, make sure that subject is not written either to the left side or to the right side. Subject should be written in middle of the page. In middle of the page, you write the subject. Then there would be body of the letter. Body of the letter would again be begin from left side of the page. You write the body. Then there would be subscription. Subscription would be yours faithfully and signature. So this is basically a formal letter. Remember people, if you are writing a formal letter, make sure that you write the simplest format. If you write in the box format, it would be really easy for you. Unless in the examination, if it is asked that you write in the traditional format, then only you write in the traditional format. Otherwise, any letter, formal or informal or casual or personal letter, you write in the box format only because it is easy to understand. We finish our chapter here today. Have a good day, students. We will begin new chapter in our next class. Have a good day, students.